Good evening. It's Beta again, and this video I promised you with a while ago. I'm really sorry for the delay, but here we are. I have my weaving. I finished it at last. It took me a while because I've been really busy submitting art here and there, but eventually I finished it, and I glued some beads and other things to finish it. I hate to remove it off this loom because in my mind I was gonna just display it the way it is, but for this video I'm gonna remove it to show you how you can remove it off the loom and how you can actually make it almost like a quilt with backing it up with paper. So all I need for this project is scissors, the usual brush with some water so I can cut my paper if you don't want to use scissors, and the glue that we do, you know, the glue usually that we like, this one, every tag, and a cup of tea, of course. The paper I want to tell you about is very strong Chinese brush paper, brush painting paper that I use is called P thick, because there's two qualities, thin and thick, and we need thick. This one I get from Oriental Art Supply in California. So you go to the website and it's specifically for Chinese brush painting supplies, paper, brushes, all sorts of things. I ordered the paper. This is one of the reasons why I didn't really rush to do the video, because I didn't have the paper until the last 2 days. Now that I have the paper, we can start. The paper is very strong and fibrous, and what I did is I measured the weaving. My weaving is 32 by 19. So the longest side is 32 by 19, and I'm gonna add 2.5 inches here, 2.5 inches here extra, and 2.5 inches here, because I'm gonna glue the paper on the back and bring it up to the front and wrap it around. That's why I need some extra on all the sides. So I measured already. So I did like this sketch here, really basic sketch of a rectangle with all the measurements and the additions that I need. I calculated it's gonna vary from one student to the other, of course, according to the size of your weaving, and just add the 2.5 inches on each side. Calculate, measure the paper, and measure twice before you cut. So make sure that your measurements is accurate, and then you can cut. So here we are. The paper is really nice and thick, and you can use it in many projects. For me, I use it for not just painting, for a lot of other projects because it's very thick. And when I ordered in bulk. It cost about $40 for 10 sheets. Each sheet is about 54 inches long by 27 inches wide. So here we are. I'm going to crease and cut. can't see. Now we can cut this here. Let's see. If they're too short, you can go here to the center and you can cut them here. It doesn't matter because we're gonna glue them at the back, so nobody will see them anyway. Loom is free. I'm ready for the next project. So you can see all the extra space of the paper. measure. So I'm leaving 2.5 inches on each side, just for extra cushion, just in case. And then I'm gonna fold this in two. A little bit like it's coming over my weaving. Let's see how it's gonna look like. Yeah, that's better. And then I'm gonna adjust it between the two so I have similar spacing on top and bottom. I'm happy with it now. So before I glue, I just want to make sure that it's in the right place for me and I'm happy with it. Yes. I'm gonna cut this here so we can see the bead. Go under here. Remember we said we want enough glue to glue it, but not too much where it seeps through. We don't want to see the glue coming. So if you think there's a blob, wipe it. Hi again. The phone died. We had to charge it and carry on. So I had to glue it, unfortunately, otherwise we won't be, the glue will dry while we're waiting for the phone. So I just flipped it over and I glued it, and I left this unglued to show you how I'm gonna finish this side. So here is the glue. I'm gonna get up to here. So that's it. So now I am done with backing the weaving. It looks something like that. And what I'm gonna need is another sheet of paper to go on the edges to make it interesting. So we can do this with another sheet of paper that will go over and come and then leave a little bit of white, or just do the sandwiching around the edges so you're not wasting all of the paper. So that's completely up to you. I decided to use black because mine is really colorful. There is a lot of color plus the cellophane, and there's a hint of black here and a hint of black there, so I can add a little bit of black. So I got my sheet of black. I measured with the ruler like 1 and 2, and I marked and 1 and 2, and I marked with my brush 1 and 2, which means like there are 2 inches to each measure of the sheet. And I'm gonna start cutting. It's really hard. Let's see if I put it down, if I can do that without tearing it badly. So all I have to do is just glue it to the position that I want, and whatever is extra will go behind. Glue the rest at the back. Something like that's where I'm showing a little bit of white, some of the black, and the rest will go behind. So now I have all the pieces. I'm just gonna start gluing them. I hope it doesn't look too dark. Inside is darker than the other, so I'm gonna start here. So here I am, I'm gluing the last stretch here on the top. Move this up to here, cut the extra. So I glued the 4 sides. And I'm going to flip it over and glue the back. So this is like the final product. It looks like it has a mat or it has a frame around it. You can see that because I put a little bit of extra glue, there are marks. So this is when you think maybe I want to put another sheet here and cover it if you don't want that to show. So how do we hang it now? That's the question. I'm supposed to have pieces of wood to show you. Unfortunately, I do not have them. I used them on my last piece of art. So this is what I'm going to show you, the piece of art that I did for a friend and how I utilize the wood. So here it is.
Fine.
So this is pine, and it's really thin, very thin piece of pine that I cut to measure. And I use the same glue. I glue it at the base so it can pull it down and weigh it down. So if there's wind or anything, it doesn't really move the pieces, keeps it in place. And I cut another piece here. Before I glued it, I used the drill. I measured like from the same distance from here and here. And when I drilled, I ran, it could be anything. I just put wire, but it can be anything. It could be thread, wire, monofilament, whatever you want to do. And you can thread it through and tie it at one end. Alternatively, I was thinking of after I did this that maybe you want to go from up down and knot it here, so it's not interfering with the outside. Maybe it would be much better, but then I keep it inside so it doesn't show, and then I glue it. So now it's when you hang it, it looks really nice and professional, and you can see like at the front nothing shows here. It's nice and smooth. But this is exactly the same idea of sandwiching your art with a different color of paper, but maintaining the integrity of the piece. Using just this, a thin piece of pine. But I think that's it. If you have any questions, you can drop me an email. Don't forget to label your art. And thank you for watching.